Hello and welcome, everyone. You are listening to the Crack podcast. It's a different intro. Let's go with that. How are you getting on? How have you been? I think it's been a week, right about then. Maybe not. It's been a few days, certainly. Pretty sure it's been a week. What have you been up to? How you doing? You behaving yourself? Taking care of yourself? Eating well, 5 bits of fruit and veg a day, and plenty of water, like you're a houseplant. Keep yourself hydrated. Yeah, hope you've been taking care of yourself, because, everyone's the main character in their own story. So be good to yourself. Don't know what you've been up to. Get in touch. Let us know. Share. What have I been doing? Well, I tell you. Usual shit. Been working. However, my days off, I've been, I would call busy, but realistically for others, probably not too busy. But no, I've been keeping myself occupied. Sorry, just distracted by this letter opener that's been on my desk for a very long time, but since I started recording, it's caught my eye. And I started playing with it. Anyway, yeah, where was I? Right, so my days off. My days off, guys. I've been a busy bee. Making honey for the queen. Where's the queen that makes the honey? I don't know. Not a fucking, what are they called? Apiary? Not a beekeeper, that's the point. Although I would love to one day have bees. But it's a conversation for another day. My days off. So, Friday, finished night shift that morning. Had a hell of a sleep. Woke up in the afternoon by 2 o'clock. It's pretty good. It's midnight here, so I am yawning. Very tired. Yeah, so I finished work. I got home, had a sleep, and then I woke up in the afternoon. Didn't do much. But you said you were busy. Yeah. And then later that night, quite lovely. 3 of my friends and I, we don't see each other very much because we're adults, and that's what happens when you're adults. You stop seeing your friends. Or maybe not everyone does, but absolutely in my life, my 20s have not been like Friends or How I Met Your Mother. Do you know what I mean? We didn't all share a big flat and hang out all the time. So, oh, by the way, if it's loud as I record this, it's because we're being hit with how's it called? Bear with me, guys. Storm Ashley. Yes, so of all the nights to pick to do this, I'm doing it when there's actually a storm with a name. It's windy and it's loud. So yeah. But yes, my 20s, it was not, some sitcom where we all live together and get up to shenanigans. So it was nice. I saw my friends, 3 of them. We arranged to go to the cinema. We went out for dinner beforehand. So essentially it's like a date for all of us. And yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. We went to a place in Inverness known for its burgers, called Coyotes, like the American dog, you get in the desert. Big Native American spiritual significance, the coyote. It's a bit of a trickster, a bit of a naughty boy. Just every time I think of coyotes, I think of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer eats the chili. It's far too hot. He's a chili con carne cook-off, and I think he drinks a candle. So the wax coats his mouth, and he doesn't feel the heat. He swallows this very hot chili, and then he essentially reacts in his belly, and he doesn't shit himself. He starts to trip absolute balls like he's on peyote or something. So he wanders out into the desert, and while he's there, there's "Hello, Homer," and it's a coyote, Spirit of the Coyote. It was actually voiced by Johnny Cash, but yes, Coyotes in Inverness. It's been open for a few years now. It's where Jimmy Chung's used to be. Jimmy Chung's is a Chinese buffet, which was quite the significance among the kids in the area. A lot of folk remember going there for their birthday and things. But it started in a different location, this Coyotes. It used to be, you think I would know, name of the street, fucking dispatcher of the year. No, so it started in a small, very, very, very humble wee sort of cafe-sized setup. But it opened as Coyote's Coffee, I think it was called, Coffee and Donuts. Coffee's Donuts, and it started as a place doing like homemade donuts. And they didn't do that for very long. They got into burgers. There's American smash burgers. And that's what it became known for. So we went a few times. More than 5, less than 10. 7? Yeah, probably 7. Myself and Charlotte went there a few times. And even for her birthday, I think she enjoys it that much. I got her takeaways a couple of years. Right. So we arranged to go to Coyote's, the 4 of us. We went along. Myself and my friend Jamie, we met first. The other guys to come through from Grantown, but Jamie was through in Inverness. Anyway, Jamie is the gentleman you may have heard on the previous episode. He was through talking to me about his walking holiday, because he's a fucking adult, on Corsica. To be French island. Oui. Yeah, so we met, wandered over, and we're on the way. We're in Inverness. So I don't know what you call it, city centre. You would call it the city centre, but yeah, city. Just about across the road, and excuse me. Oh, these 2 wee American ladies. I don't want to say old. It's quite offensive, but late middle-aged. Yeah. I'm going to do the accent, guys, alright, so make your peace with it. She goes, can you recommend a Scottish pub that does, like, food, like, proper, authentic Scottish? So I looked across the road at a pub that I know. I said to her, there is that place there. However, and I was honest with her. I wouldn't recommend it. And I pointed way down the road. I was like, you see where that van is? If you go, yeah, classic, spoke 1,000 miles an hour. So if you go way down that road there, right, and you go left, and you go, we do fucking hell. No, I direct her to another pub, and in hindsight, I don't even think it does fucking food. I feel kind of bad. It's a pub I've been in a bunch of times that does live music. And she said thank you, and they were about to walk off, and then the other one, oh, by the way, why shouldn't we go to that one there? I told them the truth. It's rough as fuck and full of jakies, you know, and they went on their way, because the reality is, guys, Weatherspoons does the job, but that's yeah. You all go somewhere where it's not fucking expensive as shit. I mean, I think the Weatherspoons even has a fucking open fireplace. I'm not being paid to say this, but, you know, I wasn't going to send them there, but not even Scottish folk like authentic Scottish pubs, because they're not pleasant places. If you want like a fairy tale fucking hoochter choochter, something about Robbie Burns poem, you've got to go way out of a city. You know, you don't get these cosy wee home style pubs. So I hope she found what she wanted, somewhere proper Scottish that does authentic Scottish food. Which was that? Cheeseburger. It's American. You want fish and chips? Yeah. Because you're not going to find a pub that's authentic Scottish that does haggis, neeps and ties. Charlotte, when I told her about it, she said, oh, you should have told them to go to this place. They sell t-shirts with their logo on it. And I'm like, right, but the wifey wanted a pub, not Disneyland. She didn't want a tourist pub. And I can't think of anywhere that walks that line of not being like slightly rough or unpleasant, or not being for tourists. You know, tourists have this romantic, oh, I say tourists, this romantic notion of these Scottish pubs that play live music. Sometimes you're in one of these pubs and there's a fucking Gaelic band just going at it, and you're like, for the love of God, can you just keep it down just a little bit, please? So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've been watching their, what's the film? Local Hero. Things like that. And different perception of what a pub should be. But if you do know Inverness, guys, if you're listening to this and you know Inverness, please tell me the pub I should have sent her to, because I may go and check it out. I wasn't going to send her to Weatherspoons. I didn't do that. I won't tell you where I sent her. But I didn't send her to Weatherspoons, and I didn't send her to Well, maybe you have an idea of the pub I didn't send her to in your mind. But if you, like I say, if you're listening to this and you know a pub where you'd send 2 American ladies for an authentic, not tourist, Scottish experience, please let me know. Because I don't know what an authentic Scottish experience is. I used to, when I was like 18, 19, the pub I went to was called the Claymore. Fucking how Scottish is that? And the funny thing is, it didn't even have a Claymore on the wall by the wee pub in Carbridge, about 8 miles away. Is it that? That was called the Cairn. It still is. It hasn't been a while. That has a Claymore, or had a Claymore, on the wall. Not one of these fucking automatic grenade things, but the fucking William Wallace sword. Anyway, so please let me know, what pub would you have sent them to? Not Wetherspoons. And myself and Jamie walked over to Coyote's down by the river and waited for the other guys to arrive. Eventually they did. We went in and so it's known for its burgers, okay? And they do very good burgers. Now, I'm not being paid to say this, but if anyone who works there hears this and wants to fucking send me a free burger, I will always take a free burger. Because, guys, I'm ashamed to say I didn't order a burger that night. I ordered, the fuck's that Canadian chips, cheese and gravy? Poutine. I ordered their chicken poutine, which... oh, do I regret that. I didn't dig it. Did not dig that at all. Jamie ordered a chicken burger, and friend Ewan, I think he ordered the same as my friend Liam. They got beef burgers with chili on it. What I would have ordered was just their plain cheeseburger, but I didn't. I ordered a fucking massive bowl of chips, or fries, skinny fries, with beef gravy and cheese curds, with sort of chopped up fried chicken on top. Now, why, Lewis, did you order that? A very long time ago, a couple of Januaries ago, we went to Mexico. And what the fuck has this got to do? Let me tell the story here, okay? We flew from Inverness to London, spent the night in London, then the very next day we got a flight from London to Montreal in Canada. And then from Montreal we got a flight to Cancun in Mexico. That was, final destination. Now, we were delayed in London, I think. I don't remember exactly what happened, but we spent under an hour in Canada, and that was running across the airport. It was like the start of Home Alone. We were, moving. I said to Charlotte before going, I hope to find poutine in the airport, because I want to have some Canadian poutine. And where else are you going to get tourist-grade, shitey poutine than in a Canadian airport? But we didn't have time for that. So, a while later, life went on. I saw a thing on, I don't know, must have been Facebook, but I don't use Facebook. I heard through the grapevine that Coyotes were now doing poutine. And I was like, okay, next time I go, I'm going to have that. But we don't go out very much. So a long time passed, and then, oh my goodness, I'm going to Coyotes with my friends. I took the opportunity. Guys, no. It's a massive bowl of French fries with very strong gravy on top. The cheese wasn't bad. Well, it's not cheese curds. I don't know exactly what they are. Curds and whey, Loma's Muffet and the Spider. I think it's the shit you scoop off cheese. It was like sort of crumbly, I don't want to say feta cheese, because I'm probably going to get an email from some angry Greek man. It's like a sort of melty cheese. And it was too many chips. It was too salty. I just wish I got a burger, because they're fucking, I'm not being paid to say this, but if you, they do very good burgers there, guys. Yeah. They also, I don't know if they still do, but when they're in the wee cafe, they used to sell things called Mexican Coke. And that's not the powder. Like Mexican Coca-Cola. And I'm not sure what the difference is. I think they still use cane sugar in Mexican cola. Bought that once. Wasn't special. So never bought it again. But I just fucking, one of those guys still owes me money for that meal. Because I paid for it. Anyway. If you go there, I recommend just a burger. Or a chicken burger. Burger and chips. Oh, man, I want to go back. And then we went across to the cinema. Now, we didn't go to the View Cinema in the retail park. We went to Eating Court, which is the local theatre, and we saw Predator, the the 80s action film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fantastic. It was an excellent cinema experience and I had a wonderful time. And then speaking of theatres, I swiftly move on to the next day. So that was the Friday. On the Saturday, we went to Aberdeen. That's not my favourite place in the world. And we went to Aberdeen because Charlotte, and if you're listening to this for the first time, hello, Charlotte's my girlfriend, my partner, my number one, my co-pilot in life, if you like. Well, I think I'm her co-pilot, to be honest. You know, no more Chewbacca. But I went to Aberdeen because she's a big fan of musical theatre and Les Miserables. It's French. Fucking, you weren't expecting that from me, were you? So, ages ago, like probably about a year ago, we were sitting in bed, and I was probably reading, she was on her phone, maybe I was on my phone too, let's not try and paint this like I'm some sort of intelligent cat, and she excitedly, woo! That's not quite the noise she made, I don't know what that was, but I'm going to leave that in because, good God, she made a noise of joy, because she saw an advert saying that Les Miserables, the West End sensation, I think, basically it's a musical, was coming to Aberdeen. Oh my goodness. That's not what she said, but it was along those lines. She was excited and she wanted to go. And who was I to say no? So she, are you working these dates? I don't know. Because of my job, I can actually see like 4 years down the line exactly where I'm working. It's quite shit. Oh, I'm not working those dates, I'm off. Oh my goodness, cool. So she bought the tickets and she's been excited for a year. So I drove us down yesterday. She very kindly got some McDonald's on the way. Not as good as Coyote's. But, oh, and by the way, I did get I got a cheeseburger there. Fucking right you did. I got a triple cheeseburger, I got 3 chicken selects, and I got a plain hamburger. And a bottle of water, because that would have been unhealthy otherwise. And the McRib is back. Again, not being paid to say this. Just, I'm on the capitalism. Now, the Les Mis show was, I think, called the P&J Live, which is the Press and Journal, which is the newspaper of the Grampian region. And it's this massive, I say massive, it's a big auditorium type arena. I was like, okay, cool. Now, I've never seen Les Mis, this is shortened to. I've seen the film once, and it was okay. It's about the French Revolution. No, it's not. You ready for a very quick recap, guys? Okay, so it starts off, Wolverine is lifting a boat. He's a prisoner, and as he's lifting this boat, they're singing a song about not looking at the guard in the eyes. The guard is played by Russell Crowe. Now, the way he lifts this boat, he does it in such a way that the guard notices and remembers this. Okay, this is important. He then gets his parole, he leaves, goes away, dirty bastard steals from a church, runs off, and changes his name. He breaks his parole, basically, he leaves the area. He opens a factory which employs Anne Hathaway, who has a kid somewhere else under the care of Helena Bonham Carter and Sacha Baron Cohen. Now, because of when this is set, I don't know exactly why, it's a big deal that she has this kid, Hoa, and she gets sacked. So she goes away and sings the Susan Boyle song, but then Wolverine owns this factory that she works in that she gets fired from. So one day they're working away, and this wee boy outside gets run over by a cart, and the cart lands on him. So Wolverine runs outside, and he lifts up, like a bodybuilder would squat. Russell Crowe is walking past, and he sees this display of homoeroticism, and he remembers this. It awakens something in him. So he knows Wolverine is the prisoner who has escaped. So Wolverine runs off, and at the same time, what the fuck happened? The illegitimate child grows up under the care of Wolverine somehow, and then the kid gets involved with students who are rebelling against the French government, Vive la France, and then there's a battle. And do you hear the people say? It's pretty cool. And, cannons and muskets and all that shit. And then the end. Now, I've only seen it once, and that's what I remember of it. So, this stage show is quite a big deal. from what I understand. I've not seen a lot of musicals. I've seen Oliver, Back to the Future, Chicago, Mamma Mia. Saw Wicked last year, that was good. The Lion King, that was pretty good. What else have I seen? Bunch of things. Never seen Les Mis. I never really got it. And what really fucks me off with the whole thing is they don't speak at any point. They sing through the whole thing. The way they talk is just like this. Everything. Obviously there's more talent behind it, but imagine if I sang every word of this podcast. It's infuriating. So the show we went to see, this auditorium was full. This is heaving. And bear in mind, I've just driven all the way to one of my least favourite cities. I would say it's my 8th favourite Scottish city. And we're sitting there, and we're miles away from the stage, miles away. And they've got big screens up, like you're at a pop concert. Or a rock concert, I suppose. And it begins. And I can't follow the fucking thing. I have no idea what's happening. These pirates come out at the start and start dancing and stuff and singing. And then what I notice is they're not interacting with each other, the cast. They're singing into microphones standing on the stage. And the screens are like zoomed in on their face. So I'm watching these and I'm, okay, cool. And then the plot keeps going on. But I'll cut a long story short, I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, fuck that whole thing. I did not dig that. And poor Charlotte, she'd been waiting a year for it. But on the way back in the car, we spoke about it and broke it in and realised we didn't see the musical. We saw some sort of weird, not tribute because it was the actual company, but we saw like a concert version of the show. So they weren't acting the show. I mean, obviously they were in character singing, but they weren't interacting. There was no... What I like about musicals, I don't know how to put into words. So I studied theatre, at university, because I want to be a playwright, okay? There's a little bit of vulnerability and something about me there, guys, but you didn't know that. Fucking sensitive Lewis over there writing his plays. I like plays. Okay, I like plot, I like dialogue, I like back and forth, I like the direction, I like having, the light, the sets, the lighting, I like the whole aspect of it. Musical theatre was never my thing. Never really gelled with that, okay? I like films, I like drama, and then I like the plays. Charlotte loves musical theatre, so she loved Les Mis. She knew the songs, and there was meaning behind it in context, and there was significance to the things behind her. I never had that. But what's my point here? We weren't watching the play. We were watching the people sing songs from it, but the whole fucking thing's a song because they don't speak. So I was sitting there like, I have no idea what's going on. And at one point there was 2 characters on the stage, and I thought that was the same character, but the actresses just looked similar, and we were far away, and I didn't dig it. Drove home in a bad mood. So I'm going to take Charlotte to London at some point, and we're going to go and see the actual thing, because I don't think I can judge the musical fairly. And I mean, it's so well regarded, I can't... can I call everyone wrong? Got all these professional Broadway and West End reviewers, and it was one of the best. Is it? Is it really? So, didn't dig it. Yeah. I can do a whole episode on that, I suppose. That was I'll talk about the whole thing. But I was expecting, because the film's got cannons and muskets, and there's like battles and things, the army's coming in to shoot the protesters. Yeah, it's cool. When we first walked in, I took off my glasses to wipe them, and Charlotte was like, no, that's not your glasses. There's like a haze. There's like smoke in the air, like a fog machine. And I know they done a matinee. They done a show in the afternoon. So I was thinking, if that is still hanging around from the afternoon show, that fucking cannon battle is going to be off the chain. But there wasn't one, because this was like some weird staged showcase of songs. I didn't dig it. Alright, I'm sorry, because there's probably folk listening to this going, oh my god, this guy is ignorant. Yes, I am. I was not expecting this show to be as it was. I thought I was going to go and see a play with songs, and instead I saw, I don't know, because I do like musicals. That's what I was going to say earlier. Sorry, that's my point. I studied theatre. I like plays, but musicals, I like them because they have a sort of dreamlike quality to them, where there's no rules. There's like, people can be sitting at a bench, and then they start singing and dancing, and everyone knows the dance moves because it's like a dreamlike quality that's a bit different to plays. Every now and again, it's fun to see that. Anyway. And then today, I went out for lunch with a friend. Fucking Sex in the City, fucking constantly out for drinks and meals and theatre. Bit of culture there. Don't do anything for a while and then bam. So I was out with a dear old friend, and me being a fucking ignorant little prick, tells me he's just bought a house nearby where I grew up. I say, oh, that's wonderful, actually, congratulations, well done. What house is it? Oh, it's this house. Actually, so-and-so is selling it. Her husband died, and then me being a fucking twat without even thinking, like, oh shit, I heard he killed himself. Oh, did he? Man, did you not know? So I don't think he did. I checked my sister. She knows a lot about the area. I'd heard he killed himself in the property. Apparently that wasn't the case. But, I mean, there was that moment of me just sitting there feeling like an utter prick. Like, oh, I'm guessing you didn't know that. Yeah. When you buy any old house, somebody's died in it, Maybe it's because it's sort of Halloween time. Extra scary. So I don't think the guy did. I think the poor guy just died. I'd heard he killed himself because that's how rumours just go in these areas, Yeah. What else is going on in my little orbit? Started reading again. Good God, if I started reading again. Stephen King, big fan of his. I've never read the Dark Tower series. That's his magnum opus. That's his version of Lord of the Rings. Apart from it's about a gunslinger. It's set in an alternative world. I kind of do believe in this, but there are other worlds besides this one. I don't believe in the Stephen King story, but I believe in the theory that there are other worlds. It's about a gunslinger who's a sort of their version of like a knight. He's from like an ancient band. Anyway. So he's got all these books of the Dark Tower series. And I tried 3 times to read the first one, called The Gunslinger. And I fucking tried. I read it in college. I read it in one day. None of it went in. Tried it again. I did not like it. Tried it last year. Went down to London this time last year, so Back to the Future. Couldn't get through it. And then just over the past few days, I was like, right, fucking focus, Lewis. And I got through it. I'm on to the second book, which he wrote maybe 15 years later, and what a difference. I'm really enjoying the second book. So I've still got like 5 to go. Not quite there yet, but it's going to be reading again. Like I find myself thinking about it when I'm not reading and I want to get back, which is better than sitting on my phone scrolling, Fucking Instagram paging, Dr. B, all that shit. Yeah. Now, something else. I have a request. Not only have I asked folk in the Inverness area, what pub would you send a tourist to? If you're one of these listeners who very suddenly, because I get to see the stats, started listening in America or Brazil or Canada, because flatteringly, the listener numbers have shot up. And like anything ever before, can I ask how you're finding the podcast? No, not like, I would like to know if you are enjoying it. But I am wondering, how did you come across it? How did you find this random podcast of a man sitting alone in his flat in, a tiny wee city in Scotland, talking to himself about his very mundane existence? Yeah, I'm just, thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying it, because the fucking numbers I'm getting is, it's delightful. I find it lovely. But I'm just curious how you've come across it. Speaking of which, we have some listener mail for this episode, because we're coming up to half an hour, and I like to keep it about half an hour. So, listener mail, I'm going to assume, well, maybe not. Maybe this is one of the guys from America. Maybe not. Maybe it's somebody from Scotland. Hello. Maybe somebody I know. Hi. There's no name left with this one, but it came through the website, and I usually leave the details at the end of how to get in touch. So I shall read the message. So this is from Anonymous. The email address, no@no.com. You know what? Fair play to you. Keep that private. And they say, you're late to the records making a comeback game. That started like 6 years ago at least. I laughed when you said your girlfriend is a traffic light. I have a question too. Do you get annoyed at people calling it trick-or-treating instead of guising if they're in Scotland? Now, I don't know who sent that in. Thank you very much. If if you're a friend of mine in person, we should hang out at some point, alright? So let's go get a coffee or a fucking pumpkin spice latte. If you're a listener I do not know, thank you for the message. To answer your question, do I get annoyed at people calling it trick-or-treating instead of guising if they're in Scotland? Yeah. Yeah, but it annoys me in the same way that I used to work with a guy that called his trainers sneakers. Or, again, folk I went to school with that call football soccer. Or, see, I'm guilty every now and again of calling a lift an elevator. I don't say trash can. Yeah, that's not quite entered the wee lexicon over here. Parking lot. No. No, from what I understand, we're going to get into it. Halloween is a Scottish and Irish sort of festival. I say festival. It's not like it's not Tea in the Park. Or what's the big one? Where was it? King Arthur was from. Glastonbury. You know, not a festival like that, but it was a celebration this time of the year where things start to die and wilt, and then you inevitably know that life will start again. So it's a celebration of death almost, because it meant rejuvenation and a second chance, the next thing. Anyway, you didn't tune into here about this. So I've always called it guising. My parents called it guising. It was always guising growing up. And I know it was towards the end of high school, because when I was wee, my friends still called it guising. And then we got to, like, obviously you stop going out when you're 11 or 12. So I don't think my dad, when I went to high school, okay, that's it, Lewis, you're done. You're old news, you're finished. No, he just said, once you go to high school, that's it for guising. Okay, no more. No, fucking free sweets. Fair enough. And my friends still called it guising then, but then a few years later, when people started referring to it, it was trick-or-treating. So, why are you calling it that? That's not what we call it. That's not what it is. It's guising. This American trick or treat. Are you blackmailing them? Fuck off. See if these wee cunts came to my door, okay? That was another thing we never did. Where I grew up anyway, you didn't go to houses where you didn't know the folk unless they clearly had set up like a thing for geysers. These American films of kids trick-or-treating, going door to door to door to door. Trick-or-treat? Get fucked. Honestly, say it's Halloween, I'm inside, chilling out, I've got my wee cup of tea, I've put on, I don't know, fucking John Carpenter's Halloween, or An American Werewolf in London. I'm sitting down getting a bit cozy with an old horror film, okay? Dunk, 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 someone knocks on the door. Now, probably, unless she's out, the Chihuahua's going to go off her fucking head at this, so already I'm kind of pissed off. And the next visitors. If I go downstairs and there's some kids there, and they say trick or treat, that means you give me a treat, candy, fucking candy corn or Baby Ruth or, no, Baby Ruth or Hershey's. You give them one of those American sweets, a candy bar, or they're going to do a trick. And they don't mean like a magic trick. These little fuckers mean they're going to like egg your house or throw toilet roll over your, I don't have a yard, my front yard and my lawn. We don't have that. But this concept trick or treat. Now, with guising, you would go around and you had to tell a joke. You had to earn your sweets. Now, granted, it wasn't like you had to tell like a 40-minute Billy Connolly says, I was on a bus. Nothing like that, okay? That's a great fucking check out on YouTube. He's on a bus. Anyway. You tell a joke, or some folk would do a wee song, or you would do a dance, right? You would earn your sweets. That was guising. And you did it in costume. And it's the most bizarre fucking thing in the world when you talk about it. But this concept of, you give me what I want or I'm going to fucking punish you. Get fucked. Nobody owes you a fucking thing. You work for your sweets. And that is, is why this cunt doesn't like to call it trick-or-treating. Now I'm going to call it there, guys. If you want to get in touch, and please do, okay, if you're from the Inverness area, what pub would you send tourists to that's an authentic Scottish experience? Not Wetherspoons. And if you're listening from far afield, How did you find the podcast? Who are you? Where are you from? Tell me something to read out. I'm interested, What's going on? If you get in touch, check out the website. So this podcast is called The Crack Podcast. So if you type into your internet, www.thecrackpodcast.co.uk, and I'll say it again, www.thecrackpodcast.co.uk. Check out the website. There's not much on there. There's a few fucking wee shitey recipes, which I wrote myself, and I was for a while going to do these film write-ups, but I lost steam. Check out the website. There's a wee contact tab. You don't have to give your name. You can say your email address is knowitno.com and your name is anonymous. I don't mind. That's the contact. Get in touch that way. Send a wee message. Okay? I'll read it out. I'll answer it. Unless it's especially nasty. That would hurt. If it is nasty, go ahead. I'll take the criticism. Let me know what's on your mind. But yes, guys, right, I'm going to call it there because this has gone over half an hour. Oops. Thank you, Blackmail, for the theme tune. Thank you, Cora, for the artwork, for your fucking giving us the logo. Thank you, guys. Thank you, dear listener, for your time. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. And join us next time. All right, so as I always say, guys, you look after yourself. Be good to each other. Don't take any shit. But just be good. Alright, I'll speak to you next time, guys. Bye for now.